I'm talking propane on the gas grill, open flame, hold the pan, still in flannel, it's plaid, still never question the dad skill. I'm in the backyard. Two-belt, big truck in a backpack, working on a house and I flip it like a flapjack. Phillips head with a tread, hammer with a knapsack. Got a creak in the knees, even got a bad back. Never backtrack, 2 measure, 1 cut. Got a big beam, bolts and a lug nut, screws and a toolkit. Thinking of what does what, hit him with a sport when I'm beating them at putt-putt.
Hey, sports. Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Monday, November 7th, 2022. I'm J.E. Skeets, punching in here at the Classic Factory for another week. Alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, great to see you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey-o. And last but not least, making the magic happen, it's birthday boy, JD.
Hello.
Hey, happy birthday, big guy.
Thank you.
How's
You know,
it going?
I try to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
I hide it on Facebook and stuff, and then Rachel just blasts me, like totally blew up my spot. So it was supposed to be a secret, but now everybody knows.
Yeah, it was a 5 a.m. post, I think. It was super early because I woke up 6:30, IG open. 1 hour ago this was posted. Wow.
She wanted everybody to know as soon as they woke up.
Hey,
so.
drop your happy birthdays for JD in the stream team right now, or at least a little cake emoji. What do you
Yeah.
want, balloons or cake? Or the
give me cake. Balloons,
Okay.
I hate balloons.
You hate balloons.
Bad for the environment, guys.
Yeah, good
Bad,
point.
terrible,
Good point.
terrible.
All right, drop your cake emojis for JD's birthday here in the stream team. Comment, like, subscribe, thrive. Go get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. Perfect timing, JD. I delivered a giant mug and hat to you today. Yeah.
Whoa.
The Classic Factory.
Focus.
Nice.
Focus. All right, never mind. Here
There
it
you
is.
go.
There it is.
JD's got the big mug that you can get at nodunks.com, the new Classic Factory mug. Logo on both sides.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Oh!
Ooh, yeah. Very good.
Ambidextrous.
All right. Send in your questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. We're always looking for your cues there. I'm sure we'll hit the beach at some point this week. And hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at NoDunksInc. And later today, if you are joining us live here at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do a good old Ask Me Anything. Ask Us Anything. An AUA with us at NBA Reddit. At 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be sharing that link. I'll try and get that into the YouTube description notes or the podcast notes when that link actually goes live. But come hang with us. Ask him some questions over at NBA Reddit.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Let's do it.
All right. Always an action-packed Monday podcast. We got winners and losers of the weekend, guys. We usually have a couple each. Tass, you get us started. Who's your big winner of the NBA weekend?
Let's just buy into these Cleveland Cavaliers. They have won 8 basketball games in a row, the longest streak in the NBA, second only to the Milwaukee Bucks, who remain unbeaten. And I want to emulate, or I want to compare these Cavs to the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Let's do it. Let's just buy into the Cavs, because I think they're like the Bucks in a few ways. First, they can win basketball games in a few different ways, just like the Bucks. Friday versus the Pistons, no Donovan Mitchell, no Darius Garland for the Cavs, and they just crushed the Pistons inside. They used their size. They took 30 shots at the rim, shot a godly 77%, led by Jared Allen and his 23. It's not quite like Brook Lopez stepping in for Giannis in the playoffs, or Brook Lopez on Saturday with Giannis eating popcorn, taking a night off. But yeah, you can start to see it. They also hit 11 threes versus the Pistons. They do a lot of things. Then Sunday versus the Lakers, Mitchell and Garland come back, 33 and 24 respectively. Look, they're stacked, baby. They've got a huge roster. They also have a very deep roster. Second, like the Bucks, yeah, that size and mobility of their big line can win you basketball games just on their own, and it's hell playing against them. And this you can see a playoff win coming where it's an 85-80 game and the Cavs bigs just shut you down. That's what the Milwaukee Bucks can do as well. So on Friday, Evan Mobley had 8 blocks against the Detroit Pistons. I mean, that's
a lot.
That's a lot. There was just one play where Marvin Bagley, if you remember him, for the Detroit Pistons, went at Evan Mobley. Like, he was playing on the perimeter. Bagley just tried to get into Mobley. Mobley just ate him up. He chewed him up, spit him up, blocked his shot. He can do everything. I think Evan Mobley's probably flying under the radar here because he's not having an incredible season offensively, but the guy can do everything defensively, any part of the floor. And it's kind of like the Bucks a couple of years ago when Giannis won Defensive Player of the Year. The question was, who is the better defender? Is it Giannis or is it Brook Lopez on that team? Who's the better big? Is it Evan Mobley or Jared Allen on the Cavs? Right. Either one can do it. And third, why they're sort of like the Bucks, why they've got some Bucks-like tendencies. They have a superstar that likes taking big shots, and I'm comfortable calling Donovan Mitchell a superstar right now because last year nobody knew. Is this Donovan Mitchell? Is he taking a step back with the Utah Jazz? But I'm comfortable doing it. He is leading the league in minutes played at 39.4. His usage rate is high, but not the highest of his career because I don't think you want that with this Cavs team. I think you want other guys doing things, and it's not the highest of his career despite not playing with Darius Garland for a lot of it. So it could even be higher, and it's going to come down because Garland is back. I think he's just ready for the season. He's 26 years old. He has only won 2 playoff series in his career, so I think people can say, superstar, shut up, Tass. That's understandable. But I think he's ready to take another step. And again, this seamless fit here with the Cavs where they won 8 straight, plus one game there where Garland was out. It's juicy stuff here. It's juicy stuff against the Pistons and the Lakers there on Sunday that everyone's beating the Lakers, unfortunately. But I'm buying it. I'm buying it right now.
The vibes are great with this Cavs team, too. You see that clip going around after the comeback win versus the Lakers in the locker room? They have the whole, junkyard chain that they give out to the team or to the player on the team in a win that, plays gritty, scrappy, whatever. And Bickerstaff's getting ready to find it, to give it to somebody after they came back against the Lakers, and he can't find it. He doesn't know where it is. Kevin Love has stolen it from the coaching staff, and they gave it to Coach because he gave him a great halftime speech. It was a gritty halftime speech. And then they're just celebrating like crazy, loving it. He's like, you got me. And they're all jumping around. So, yeah, they're rolling right now.
You need dumb things during the regular
100%.
season to keep it going.
100%. Yeah, and that's the vet and Kevin Love doing it to the coach. So, yeah, and he's been playing great, too. You're buying the Cavs here, Trey?
Yeah, I'm buying the Cavs early season. We'll see what it's like come playoff time, but also like the Bucks, they sat their stars and we're still able to smack down the Pistons because they've got a lot of stars, which is the big thing. If you're asking me if I'm taking Jared Allen or Evan Mobley, I'm taking Allen right now. For this season at least, I think, Mobley will get there eventually, but I thought he was so good in the second half against the Lakers. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, all in the second half. The Lakers were living inside, living in the lane in the first half of this game. But that speech, I guess, really came through.
Yeah.
That really came through. You D up in there. You dunk it when you get the ball. And Jared Allen did a lot of dunking. He was the difference to me in the second half.
Yeah, and they stopped Anthony Davis, which we'll get to in Losers of the Weekend.
All right, Trey, what about you? Winner of the weekend?
Quality weekend for the Boston Celtics. They beat the Bulls on Friday night, the first night of the weekend, as everybody knows, and this was a real game of basketball. Celtics led heading into the fourth quarter, stretched the lead out to about 14, but the Bulls came storming back and even had a chance to win. But Derek White made a couple of huge shots down the stretch. 2 minutes left, the Bulls had cut into the lead. White puts the ball on the floor. Tough layup over 2 Bulls, puts the Celtics up 7. Another minute later, the Celtics are only up 2 at this point. Driving kick by Jaylen Brown finds White wide open for a three-pointer. He scored 7 points in this game, but 5 of them were massive, big-time shots. 46 for DeRozan in this one. Jason Tatum went for 36, took 20 free throws. Malcolm Brogdon had 25 off the bench. Mini meltdown for Patrick Williams there in the last minute of this game. Gave up an offensive rebound and then fouled Tatum with the Bulls down by 2, 45 seconds left. Then he was stripped driving to the hoop and blocked at the rim by Tatum again on the next possession. The Bulls somehow get the ball back on a steal. Wide open 3 for Pity Pat. Brick job. Brick job. Down 3 with 22 seconds left, but shout out to my stepbrother Dan and his kids sitting in the 4th row of this game.
Wow.
Oh, high five on Marcus Smart. If your team's going to lose, but you can find families sitting in the crowd, it makes it okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that was good. Saturday night, the Celtics absolutely rolled the Knicks, scored 133 points, hit a franchise record 27 threes on only 51 attempts. That's 53%.
Jesus.
30 for Brown, 26 for Tatum, 6 Celtics in double digits. 6 of them hit 2 or more threes. After the weekend, they're the best offense in the league. Somehow only 25th in defense right now. They're giving up a ton of points. In 7 of their 9 games, they've given up at least 114. But Robert Williams rejoined the team this weekend. He's ramping up for his return. No date for his return yet, but also no setbacks. So the Celtics will eventually play defense.
Yeah.
But they're rolling on offense right now, so why even try?
Yeah, that's the scary part. That caught me by surprise, too. I was just checking. 25th defensive rating, first in offense.
Just outscoring
Since,
everybody.
Last year, it was the exact opposite when they really went on their tear to end the season. The number one defense by a mile in the league. But yeah, Celtics 6-3 here, Task. Good weekend. I'm sure they were on your short list here for a winner of the weekend.
Absolutely. Also, I guess on the short list, brother-in-law Dan. So you saw him on the television. You were able to pause and see him?
Okay, stepbrother Dan. But I only saw his oldest daughter.
Okay. Well,
She
that's
has
pretty
bright
cool.
red hair, so it was easy to spot in the crowd. I mean, kids are way shorter than most adults. But fourth row, I was pulling a Tass Mellis. Pause, rewind, pause,
Oh,
rewind,
wow.
going frame by frame, trying to find it.
Nice.
Trying to distract myself from the Bulls blowing it here at the end. Hey, there's someone I know.
That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling seeing
Yeah, it was
somebody
big
you
time.
know in the
Big
crowd.
time.
You love doing it. Yeah, you
I
love
do.
it. Yeah.
I do.
It does feel great. Feels like you're there.
Yeah. The only person I saw on the TV that I knew this weekend was Drake. And that's because Trey got a photo with him in 2019. I got a photo behind him in 2019. So we sort of know him.
Close friends. Yeah.
He looked extremely tanned. Did you see him?
I saw him on the broadcast.
got a lot of
sitting
sun.
right there beside Devlin and Elvin Williams.
Yeah, stuck the tongue out at the crowd,
Yep.
at the camera that one time. Where's he been? Somewhere sunny.
Sure, yeah, exactly. In one of his many houses on an island somewhere, I'm sure.
Huh.
Yeah. What a life.
I didn't know that.
I'm guessing.
know
Maybe
that.
he's just been
It's
in
a
the
good
tanning
guess.
bed. I don't know. I'm going to give winner of the weekend to De'Aaron Fox. Okay, we'll show you the clip in a second, but let me set the scene here. This is early Saturday night. This is Kings Magic. Real Game of Thrones type game, right? Kings and Magic. De'Aaron Fox, he banked home a game-tying shot in the final minute of regulation to force overtime. Then he just ripped off 3 straight baskets in overtime. This was a really weird overtime period between the Kings and Magic. There were so many points scored. Usually overtimes are like 6-4. And they're like, oh, it's like a weird sort of like odd 5 minutes. Not this one. Everybody was scoring. But seeing as this is the Kings, nothing is easy. And so late in the game, they're hanging on to the lead. Sacramento is. Malik Monk, he gets trapped in the corner. Good trap there from the Magic. He throws like this desperation pass. It's intercepted. Dunk. Tie game. About 6.5 seconds to go. They inbound the ball to Fox. You can roll the clip, JD. He dribbles it up. And then from the big star in the Magic logo, launches and just cashes it. Game over. Buzzer beater there from Star Fox. I guess it was officially listed as, take a guess. What do you think they listed that as, distance-wise?
40 feet.
No, not that. You would have guessed around there too, but 31, right?
That seems off.
That seems off.
Yeah.
Officially listed as 31, but he drops it down, and the Kings, these are wins they need if they are going to get into this damn play-in tournament. They started this season with a bunch of losses, as we talked about here on the podcast, but they were competitive, at least in most of them. Now, they've won 3 of their last 4. They split a pair of games against the Heat. They beat the Hornets and Charlotte. Got to do that. And then they take down Paolo there, who was awesome in the game for the Orlando Magic there on the weekend. They're back to, for them, respectable, 3-5, if I'm doing my math correctly here. They wiped out a 20-point deficit in this one, though. And Fox, some love to this guy. He played 40 minutes after he missed the game in Miami, remember, with a bone bruise. He had that. He had 37 in this, 14 of 24 from the floor, the 5 boards, the 3 assists, the steal, the game winner. He's averaging 26, 6 and 5 on lights out shooting for him, 55% from the floor and even 37% from deep. And he's a weird 3-point shooter over his career. He's like one good year and one bad year, one good year and one bad year. This is the good year right now. And those numbers include a game where he did go out 9 minutes into the action there. So those averages are pretty damn good. It's nice to see him getting some attention here. That was a huge shot. And they need these wins. I mean, it's not pretty. I know it took overtime to beat Orlando, but he's balling. So, Star Fox, a winner of the weekend. What a shot. I mean, we had a couple game winners. We'll get to a controversial one with Jeremy Grant there at the buzzer. But this one, no doubt about it, it was good. And he hit it from 30,
Timely, yes.
30 to 40 feet.
Yeah, I mean, half court is 47 feet.
Yeah.
This was longer than
think
31
so?
feet,
Yeah.
And I think that shot's going to be there for him if he wants to take it at the end of the games. I think he'll be able to get the pull-up 31 to 40-footer anytime he wants it, but if he's hitting 37% from 3, I suppose it's a decent shot, especially if the game is tied.
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, I guess it was Suggs, right? You're going to back off in that situation because he's so damn fast and he's been having a good game that you're worried that he's going to try and draw a foul, explode to the rim. So, yeah, you're going to have that. But he said he knew as soon as it left his hand. It was like he stepped into it. He had like a bunch of he ran through the reasons why it was for him a comfortable shot. And look, he knocked it down. That's all that matters, Tess.
I don't want to get into the minutia of how long a shot is, but you said 47 feet. That's the midway point of a basketball floor. But that's the midway point of the measurements from the center line to the baseline. While a few
That's a fair
Good point.
That's a
Good
fair
point,
point.
Tess.
the
Yeah.
backboard comes out,
Interesting.
rim comes out,
Interesting.
so maybe it's a few feet less. Maybe the 31 is accurate. I don't know.
Yeah, how much room is there on the baseline from the front of the rim to the baseline?
Oh man, we talk about
That's the
basketball
question.
too much.
That's the question.
Anyways, a money shot. Yeah, obviously I saw it after the fact, so I knew it was going in.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to say, hey, I knew that was going in. Just a wild ending. The Magic are just playing some wild endings.
Really,
The Magic are fun to watch.
they
for sure.
absolutely are
a
fun
lot
to
of
watch.
close games.
And I mean, look, this would have been a brutal loss for the Kings. Let's be honest. Like the throwaway there at the end by Monk, he's freaking out and just chucks it right to the middle of the floor. Easy dunk from OKK, I think it was. But yeah, Fox bails them out in overtime. And look, they got there and got up in overtime because of him. He's having an incredible season. And, if the Kings can just play 500, he's going to get a lot more attention and deservingly so, in my opinion. So nice to see him have a good game.
Before we move on, I was wrong about Marvin Bagley. He is not back. I made a mistake when I said that Evan Mobley just chewed up and spit out a guy who went at him. I watched the clip a billion times. I thought, I thought that was Marvin Bagley. I guess it was Sadiq Bey. Anyway, just wanted to say that. Just wanted to say that. Got to call myself out.
Yeah, way to fact check
Yeah,
yourself.
I got to fact check myself. I didn't want to make myself a loser of the weekend, which is coming up after the break, but I was comfortable saying it now. I had to call myself out. And I
Does
respect
Monday count as the weekend? That's the real question.
Well, it feels like a weekend, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
Who do you
for
have
me anyways.
for another winner?
Well, I'm doing this. I don't care what people say. I think the Knicks are a winner.
How?
I know what you're saying. I know you called me out, Skeets. You said, is this correct? What
I thought you put it in the wrong spot. I
Same.
thought you meant to put it in
Same.
loser of the weekend.
No.
So tell me why the
No.
Knicks, who obviously got embarrassed by the Celtics, who lost Mitchell Robinson,
Embarrassed
who
is a
pulled
strong
out a
word.
win against Joel Embiid-less and James Harden-less Sixers by 2 points, if I remember correctly. How are the Knicks a winner here?
Embarrassed by the Celtics? I wouldn't go that far.
okay.
They were down 5 going to the third quarter. They lost the fourth by 10 points. That's the Celtics. Anyways, this is why they're a winner of the weekend, because Tom Thibodeau is not a person you would think would ever change. But Tibbs making some changes. On Friday night, they go into Philadelphia, and first thing he did was he sat Evan Fournier. He just said, this guy, 11 years of experience, you'd think Tibbs would play him forever. Big contract, my starting shooting guard, but he sat him for Quentin Grimes, the second-year player who is just back from injury. He just threw him in there. He didn't do much against Philly, but it was his first real game action of the season because of a foot injury. So that's okay. It's the fit that matters. He fits so much better with RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson, the size and the defense. So they're a winner just for that. Just for that, if Tibbs just did that, they're a winner. But second, he also threw Cam Reddish out there. Played a ton this weekend in both games, and he let him close the game against Philadelphia, which was key because Cam Reddish played great defense, and he had a couple buckets and an assist in the closing minutes. My man Cam only took 4 shots on the evening for 11 points. 4 shots for Cam Reddish? That's not a Cam Reddish thing to do, but the closing lineup was, their big 3 of Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, and Reddish, and Obi Toppin, another youngin, which the Knicks fans have been dying to see beside Julius Randle. And that's the third thing. It was a 4-5 combo of Randle and Toppin. And yeah, center Mitchell Robinson, he got hurt.
Yeah.
So he was out.
What a shock.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's
this guy
happening again.
gets hurt all the time. I think I said this in one of our preseason podcasts. I was like, I want to get excited about the Knicks, but can Mitchell Robinson play? He's important for them. Defensively he is, and then
yeah,
out he goes
but
again.
they played 2 traditional centers, him and Hartenstein, and I was surprised Tibbs didn't go to Hartenstein in the final quarter. Instead, Randle and Toppin, who were key, because what Toppin does is opens up the floor for Julius Randle. Julius Randle is a bit of a turnover machine, and he was in the first 3 quarters of this game, but 0 in the fourth quarter when he played 10 minutes and 36 seconds. Knicks were down 12 in the fourth. So maybe it was desperation. We just need some offense, but they came through. Randle had room, and he set up Toppin for a big 3. He had 2 big threes in the last few minutes. And he also found Reddish for another score. And the Knicks got the win because Tibbs is saying, all right, let's change it up here a little bit. And that was a big win. Yeah, Embiid, Harden not there. But the fact that he's playing Grimes, who sat on Sunday because he's not playing back-to-backs. But still, Fournier came off the bench. Again, even though Grimes didn't play on Saturday. So that was key to me. He only played 10 minutes. Fournier is kind of losing his spot.
So you think Tibbs is finally coming around on this idea of maybe, now that
play
Grimes
the young
is back,
guys,
play Toppin, yeah.
And Reddish started as well on Saturday, played 37 minutes, only 6 shots. Can't Reddish. Doing uncan Reddish things.
Ball must have not found its way to him.
Well, I think the Robinson injury, although he is sort of key to them, I guess. He's in and out of the lineup. They may force him to go small a little bit. I think Toppin is just going to have to play. And he struggles defensively, too. Against the Celtics, him getting picked off, like Celtics are good at just picking guys off. And Toppin doesn't know where to go at times, but he helps space the other side for Randall. And the Knicks are just bad defensively anyways. So Toppin out there I don't think is going to hurt all that much. I like Reddish getting burned. I think Quentin Grimes is going to be the starter going forward. It sure feels that way anyways, especially with Fournier sitting. The Knicks' problem is just that they're just not that – they're not that good. Their starters aren't that good, so throw the young guys out that we've been begging for years and years and years. And I don't think they're going to fall off that much if Fournier's not playing or Robinson's not playing or Hartenstein's not playing. They're a 500 club. I think the juice is better. The vibes are better when Grimes and Toppin are out there. So, yeah, they get beat by a Celtics team. Big deal. I think if they're changing modes, if Tibbs is saying, I can change. I can change. He's looking in the mirror. He's having a chuckle to himself, and he's thinking, yes, I'm in my 60s, but I can change. Hopefully that's happening. Hopefully that's happening for the New York Knicks, and it looks like it. It looks like it is.
Did he change your opinion there, TK?
No.
Tass?
No. The only way I was accepting the Knicks as a winner this weekend is if it was for the guy hitting a half-court shot and winning a car.
That was money.
That's cool. They've lost 4 of 5 here, and I see that their new starting lineup lost the first quarter and the third quarter in both of these games. So we'll see how long Tibbs actually sticks with it. I also see Grimes was a minus 20 in his first game here.
Yeah. He's hurt.
He's looking to the future.
Yeah, he's hurt. He didn't play. He's got a sore foot. He's been out. So yeah, he stunk. And he stunk. But yeah, they lost. But they're playing their young guys. That's the important part. And he didn't play Saturday. Yeah. And again, Fournier sat, which everyone's been begging for.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
Yes.
So
it only took a season.
Great shot by that. I want to call him a kid. I don't know how old the guy was that hit the half-court shot there to win the car.
What kind of car did he win?
I don't know, but he did the right thing if you're ever going to take a half-court shot, and I don't know why you would ever take advice from us, seeing as we went 0 for 100 at Summer League. But give yourself a chance. Went off glass. You gotta throw it or shoot it harder than you think you do. There's so many people come up short, and he's like, no. I'm at least getting this thing on the rim. And it banked in off the backboard. And I feel like a majority of the ones that do hit a half-court shot, more times than not, they do go off the glass. I got nothing to back that up. Just a gut feeling from watching a lot of these clips over the last decade or so every time someone does it in the NBA. So, great shot. Fun celebration, too. He went nuts.
Yeah, won a Kia. No surprise. Got a Kia.
Classic Kia.
Got him a Kia in the John Starks jersey.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, he was flexing with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool for him.
All right, Trey, who do you got for winner of the weekend? Who else?
Luka Doncic, winner of the weekend. Fun game Friday night. We had a discussion on the drop about the Raptors and the Mavericks as title contenders. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't realize they were playing against each other later that night. I was like, oh, nice. We were just talking about this all day, and pretty much everything we said came true. Luka was special, 35 points to keep his wilt streak going. It didn't matter that the Raptors double-teamed him every time he had the ball. He took 15 shots in this game, made 10 of them, had 31 through 3 quarters. Pretty impressive stuff, but every Mavs game is close.
Yep.
Because the Raptors made a run in the fourth quarter when Luka went to the bench, but Dallas was able to pull out the win with just enough defense and just enough shot making. Luka hit a 3 with 3 minutes left to go up 7. Spencer Dinwiddie hit some free throws, and the Raptors were struggling a little bit in the half court, but the big highlight from this one was the Luka furious fadeaway is what I'm calling it, because if somebody hits that shot on you when you're playing, you probably would just quit. Like, incredible defense by Achua to keep moving his feet. Doncic is almost doing the splits when he shoots the ball, probably 20 feet in the air. The purest of swishes.
Yeah.
And then finger guns, man. Finger guns, infuriating as well, but special stuff from Luka. The guy just scores 30 points easily. He's going to score 30 points every game unless he gets in foul trouble.
He is so cold-blooded, calculated. It's like nuts. Like, there's a great thread going around of all the defenses the Raptors threw at him. Like, Nurse was chucking everything you could think of to try and slow the guy. There's like a 10 or 11 different defensive schemes that they chucked at him, and he basically figured them all out. I mean, he had look-away passes to the corner to Tim Hardaway Jr. That shot over Precious was just next level. Like, I don't know. You're right. You just go home. You just say, okay, we can't beat this guy. And he kept the streak going. And it was an entertaining game for sure. Raptors stuck around. You know, they will get to them losing Siakam there to injury in that one. Maybe it's a different result in the end if he plays for the rest of it. But hell of a win from Dallas.
The spins through the double teams, that was the amazing part to me. Whether it's at midcourt or by the 3-point line, he just finds a way. Each and every time, the handles and the size. I think that's, I guess, one thing that I probably underestimate with Luka Doncic, just how strong he is, because everyone's trying to body him. The Clippers have done it in the postseason, just trying to get all tough with him, but he's just so huge, and no matter how many big Raptors they throw at him,
it didn't matter.
That was tough. It was I applaud Nurse for trying, but man, he's MVP Luka. I mean, he's special.
Couple other winners of the weekend. Some teams that we have to show some love to. You slipped them in there when you were comparing them to the Cavs, but the Milwaukee Bucks are a winner of the weekend. They extended their season-opening win streak to a franchise record 9 games, and they did it both ways. They won with Giannis on the road in Minnesota over the weekend, and then they won without Giannis at home to OKC. Friday night, it was Drew Holiday being the Pippen to Giannis's MJ. He was awesome. 29, 8, and 6, 2 steals, 4 3-pointers made. I'm starting to think about it with Drew Holiday. Somebody out there in the stream team, help us out. What's the biggest gap between a player's first All-Star game selection and their second All-Star game selection? Because Drew Holiday is going to have a case of making the All-Star team again here, and that would be a 10-year gap. He only made it once when he was with Philly in 2012-13. We're here in 22-23 by the time we get to the All-Star team, All-Star game. So that's 10 years. What is there? Is there a bigger gap out there between a first at least and a second? Crazy. So he was awesome. And then Saturday night, again, you were talking about him a little bit there, Tess. Brook Lopez, 25 points, 10 to 16 shooting. Lopez said after the game, it was exciting to play without Giannis, who was just eating popcorn. And he said, quote, I think it's a great quote, Giannis gets a chance to rest, to refill his cup, and we get a chance to get better and see what it's like without him on the court. Get better in that way. So they're just going about their business right now. I'm so excited to go down to the Fortress tonight to see, hopefully, Giannis. I believe he's playing tonight here in Atlanta versus the Hawks. Some Bucks-Hawks action. Can the Hawks snap the streak here on a late Monday night start? 8:15 with all these games on tonight? We'll see. But they're just rolling. They're just not much else to say about them right now, and they don't even have Middleton. Who's one of their best defenders on the wing, and then a 20 plus point per game scorer. It's crazy.
Career high right now for Drew Holiday, averaging 20 a game, tying his career high in assists with 8 per game, and he's not even shooting the ball that well.
No.
He's turned it on in the past week and a half, I would say, but he's going to be the Bucks' second All-Star right now, you would think, unless Brook Lopez keeps playing the way he has, because, Lopez, during his Bucks tenure, has been 3-pointers and incredible defense, but he's scoring a ton of points right now, like back in the Brooklyn Nets days. So the fact that they're able to sub Giannis out, that they still don't have Middleton, and they're just rolling through the league, scary stuff. Pat Connaughton back soon too as well.
Yeah,
they're only going to get better this year.
Yeah, they started Beauchamp on Saturday. Marjon Beauchamp. Just threw him in there, put Grayson to the bench, and Grayson Allen had a big game off the bench too.
Yeah.
They're getting everybody juiced. That's what they do. And I mentioned earlier the conference finals against the Atlanta Hawks there, where Giannis went out, Brook Lopez and Drew Holiday stepped up. So they've been there before. That's the scary part. The only thing that's going to slow them down is age, because Brook is 34, but he looks phenomenal, and maybe the fact that he didn't have to put all that pounding on his legs last year because he was injured for most of it, helping those legs. He's probably feeling fresh right now, and maybe he wants Giannis to sit out. He killed the Hawks when Giannis went out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Go kill the Hawks again tonight. That should be a great one, though.
I hope it is. We'll see. I mean, if the Bucks, if, because I don't think it's a guarantee, but if they win tonight in Atlanta, that's obviously 10 in a row. Does that start getting more national buzz, more eyeballs, attention on the team? Because it feels like For a team that started 9-0, there's very little talk about them. Like, no one really cares.
I don't think 10 wins does.
No, what do you got to get to? 15? I mean, at a certain point, people got to start going, whoa.
I think it's 20.
20?
Yep.
I mean, I know the Warriors did it back in the day there.
It's not that long ago.
I think it's 15.
Yeah, 15.
I think it's 15 because win number 14 would be against the Cavaliers, and win number 15 would be in Philadelphia against the 76ers.
Big teams.
Yeah. Big time teams.
Okay,
Big teams that are sub 500 in the Sixers. I don't think so.
About the eyeballs.
Okay, and another win of the weekend to a team in the West that's basically the Bucks version out there. It's the Utah Jazz. Jesus. They got the rare sweep in LA. They beat the Lakers 130-116 on Friday, and then they took care of the Clippers last night by 8. They keep winning. Maybe we should stop being shocked by this. But look, they rallied in this game in the third and fourth quarters versus the Clippers on Sunday. Will Hardy was talking up Lauri Markkanen's defense. His defense on Paul George in the fourth, at least making life difficult for PG and trying to prevent him from getting the ball. And then Colin Sexton is like really forming into this like sixth man type of guy. 22 points for him, 6 of 13 shooting. He had 7 of the Jazz's like 14 in this like 14-2 run in the fourth quarter there to pull away. Jazz are top 10 offensive and defense. Nuts. They're one of the best teams in the league when it comes to like taking care of the offensive glass. They take a ton of three-pointers. They're third in three-pointer attempts per game, second in makes. I mean, Jesus. Like you just keep waiting for this to like catch up to them, this hot start, this Cinderella team, and it's like, I don't know, is it? Because they're on fire. 8-3.
And going to be 9-3 after tonight. They play the Lakers. They beat them on Friday, and it's hard to see how they're going to lose to the Lakers tonight. Yeah, everybody waiting because nobody expected them to be this good. But the fact is, a few of them I think would have to fall apart for this to go bad because they've got so many guys producing.
Yeah.
They're solid. Will Hardy, Coach of the Year right now.
Oh, God, running away with it for sure.
Way to go, Will.
And then this is a lot of fun. A lot of people on Twitter saying, are the Jazz just going to mess around here and make the playoffs? Well, I saw Greg at GWIS. He responds with this meme, pull up Tankathon, but not for me, the guy with the fake out there pulling the gun on this. Yeah, Danny Ainge, man, that's him right there. Danny, are we going to tank for Wemby? Nah. No, you look up Tankathon. Because I got you all fooled. So, great start from the Utah Jazz. Any thoughts
amazing.
On this team, Trey? Bucks or Jazz?
Not really.
No.
Not really. I mean, the Bucks, they win. The biggest takeaway I had from the Bucks weekend was that Rudy Gobert took a three-pointer against them. That was weird, man. I feel like it was like a game between 4 7-footers, right? It's like the Bucks have their 7-footers in Giannis and Brook Lopez. Then the Wolves have their 7-footers in Towns and Gobert. And to me, it was like Gobert was trying to prove, I'm as versatile as these guys. I can shoot threes. He can't. It was very, very short.
Is that the one he airballed by a mile?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
That was my main takeaway from those games. Good job by the Jazz winning, though. I took the over because I thought they would win a lot of games before they traded their guys. But not this many. I do think they'll fall apart, though. The Wizards started 10-3 last year. I'm just trying to remember things that happened from last year because I'm like, the Celtics were terrible last year. They ended up good. The Bulls were good at the beginning of the season last year. They ended up terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Wizards were good. They ended up bad.
It's a long season.
It's a long season. Things change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't expect them to win 75% of their games, but
it's like the New York City Marathon. Catch those highlights?
No.
This guy was crushing it, this Brazilian dude. He's out by like 90 seconds on the rest of the pack, far into the race, and everyone's like, there's no way he can keep this up. Like, he's going to get caught. Like, I'm texting with Jared. Like, when does he get caught? Well, what happens is something happened to the old bubble guts. He stops in a porta potty. He's leading the New York City Marathon. Stops pretty quick. Pit stop. Comes out. Still in the lead. And then at a certain point, like, you can tell he's like, he's bonking. Like, it's hitting him. He, like, stops. It looks like he's going to pass out. And then he tries to get himself going again. It was really wild. He literally starts pumping his arms, gets going again. You're like, whoa. And then a couple miles later, stops again, and then collapses. Oh. And it was like, oh, man. Yeah, I guess
he was the Bulls.
He really was. He really was. Uh-oh. So, hey, it's the comparison is, the NBA season, it's a marathon. Don't be the Brazilian guy that had to take a dump and then basically passed out with like 5 or 6
Do they
miles
have
to go.
cameras inside the bathrooms?
No.
You never know what they're doing in there. But
Yeah.
you could take a performance-enhancing drug in there. Come on. Seems unfair to me that you're able to go and hide in the middle of a race. The biggest race there is.
True, but it's not like the porta potty is still moving. Like, he is stopped. He's giving up time.
He is stopped.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. You can take a gel when you're running.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're allowed to do that.
It's free. Free to gel.
Anyway, crazy. Go check the highlights on that.
It was too humid.
It was very humid in New York yesterday.
Very humid, yeah.
Hot.
Blame climate change. That's what I would do, not your bubble guts. But what would you do? What would you do as a runner if your stomach, if you literally something is coming out of you?
Yeah, I know.
In your run, I think I assume you would just keep going.
What?
Yeah,
And crap
release.
my pants? I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
Why? You
Look,
gotta get the time.
the truth was, I'm not saying, like, he was going, it was too hot, it was too humid, and he was going too fast. Like, this was not a surprise. Okay,
Yeah.
the part where he stopped to go to the washroom and then maybe stopped and almost passed out, that was a surprise, but, like, he was always going to be caught. He was just going way too fast.
That happens to marathon runners.
Yeah,
to
all the
runners.
time. But no, I would stop to go to the washroom.
You don't want it bad enough.
No, I guess not. Well, look,
No, you don't.
number 2, I'm stopping. Sure, if it's I'll piss my pants, I guess, if I have to.
Attaboy.
To win it. If I'm winning it, I wouldn't mind a little rain. I said this before. Like, I'd like a little rain, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll
Just go.
easily. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
right.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier for some reason. It's like you're in the ocean at that point.
Yeah, it's encouraged.
Yeah. All right, let's take our first break. When we
all
come back,
have to go to the bathroom.
yeah, that's
No, we don't.
We all got bubble guts over here. We'll take our first break. When we come back, though, losers of the NBA weekend.
Yeah, speaking of marathons, I played 3 hours of pickleball yesterday.
Oh, man.
Beautiful day here in Atlanta. But I was feeling it this morning, I have to admit. Barely wanted to get out of bed, let alone work out. And I got a Peloton right there. You practically have to climb on it or over it to get into this classic factory. That said, it's surprisingly easy to pretend it's not there. I needed extra motivation today. When I'm absolutely not into it, this is what I always do. I check in with my favorite instructor, the Cadence King, Dennis Morton. I mean,
Cadence.
he is. Tassie,
Yes,
you
yes.
admit it. He's the Cadence King. I like all the instructors, but like I've said before, and I'll say it again, Dennis is my guy. He's my workout buddy. He just gets me. It's kind of spooky, actually. He reminds me to drink just as I realize I'm thirsty. He corrects my form just as I'm collapsing on top of myself. And he's even more anally retentive about music than I am. Gotta be on the beat, and I have to too. Anyways, got on that bike this morning, expecting to crank out 15 minutes just to say I did something today. Ended up doing a 45-minute intervals and arms with Dennis, 10 minutes of abs with Emma, a cool down ride with Alex. Then I had to take a cool down ride after that one because
Oh,
Alex is too intense, Tess. I'm burning through that cool down. Then I took a cool down ride with Christine. Alex, very intense, man. I feel great. I'm glad I'm over here because I badly need a shower, guys. Did not poop myself though, so I'm happy about that. But I would have if I had to get through it. Try Peloton risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only, not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home trial.
Well, if you have any soreness, JD, I've got what you need. Next Evo Naturals. I've got to admit, I have questioned the legitimacy of CBD. You know, I'm a modern man. I question everything. Does this work? Does this work? Sounds fake. Sounds fake.
Right.
It seemed like it just wouldn't work, but it does. And Next Evo Naturals can help you out. It did for me. I went for a run next morning. I was sore. Gave it a whirl. Now I enjoy it daily. It's in the bathroom, so I see it, remember it, and I feel the effects. Next Evo Naturals developed Smart Sorb technology, clinically proven to help your body absorb CBD 4 times better than regular CBD oil, because oil just doesn't mix with your water-based body. Smart Sorb technology improves CBD's ability to be absorbed, getting into your system in as little as 10 minutes. Most CBD oil achieves between 2% and 10% absorption. I knew it. See, I knew some of this stuff doesn't work. 2 and 10% for CBD oil, which means 90% of what you think you're getting is actually wasted. Next Evo Naturals are scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD in a way your body can actually use it, clinically proven to have 4 times better absorption. To help your body have a healthy inflammatory response, try the new Revive CBD Complex, which adds the benefits of curcumin with CBD. Cumin. That's all I can think of when I read the word curcumin. It's almost holiday season. My family has a nice bread treat with cumin in the holiday season. Don't settle for less. Get your supply of Next Evo Naturals Revive CBD Complex today, or shop their gummies, capsules, and mints, proven to absorb 4 times faster than standard CBD oil. Get up to 25% off when you subscribe and spend $40 or more at nextevo.com/recover with promo code NODUNKS. That's nextevo.com/recover, promo code NODUNKS.
All right, still here in the Classic Factory. We've done winners of the NBA weekend. Let's do the losers. Tass, who you got top of your list?
The Los Angeles, both the Clippers and the Lakers. Let's start with the Clippers, because Paul George doing his best to lead his team. They won 3 straight, including that comeback win Friday versus the Spurs with 32. He was trying. But this team just doesn't look like a championship favorite that many picked them to be. And they started slow last year too, but I just wonder if this is going to catch up to them. They were a champ favorite because of a few reasons. Their depth, continuity, and star power. Well, those 3 things, I think they're all fails so far. Start with the star power. Kawhi. His status doesn't sound promising to me, even though they're selling it as promising. Update, he came off the bench, if you don't remember. First 2 games for him to start the season. They even spaced it out. They gave him a break in between those 2 games. Then he went to shoot around and felt discomfort in his surgically repaired right knee. It wasn't an injury per se, so that's a bad sign to me. He's missed the last 7 straight games with right knee management. They need him to come back, but there's no timetable. I don't like that because it just feels like Kawhi and no timetable go together. Now, we've been there with Kawhi before, but also he's progressing according to Ty Lue, and he feels great. But he ain't playing, so I guess he doesn't feel that great. And he's likely out tonight versus the Cavs. And it's not just Kawhi, because they don't have continuity that we all expected them to have, besides Kawhi. No John Wall tonight, not playing back-to-backs. Maybe no Reggie Jackson, who banged knees with Nickeil Alexander-Walker on Sunday when they played the Jazz. And then he sat the rest of the game. Maybe no Luke Kennard, who sat out Sunday with chest discomfort. That started on Friday. And you'd think, okay, well, maybe their depth is coming through. But it's not. They just can't hit threes. This is a drive and kick team, and they're only shooting 32% from 3, which is bottom 5. And guys like Reggie Jackson, John Wall, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann struggling with their shot, and they lost to the Jazz on Sunday after that win on Friday against the Spurs, who are the example of depth in the lineup. So that's just a bad sign, I think, up and down. Now, Paul George, again, he's trying to pull him out. He's trying to do it. I don't know what type of faith you guys have in this Los Angeles Clippers team before I get to the worst team in Los Angeles, but it's hard. I know maybe Kawhi comes back and it feels good, but they can't get in a big hole. And again, they're not playing all that well beside him, and their offense, as you've talked about, Trey, is just kind of meh at times.
What offense?
Yeah,
their offense is drive and kick, like you're saying, but when you're kicking and everybody's bricking, it's not going to work, which is why they're 30th in offense. So, yeah, they are, 500 here, only a handful of minutes from Kawhi. It's very weird that them and the Lakers are like the exact same team right now. They're both great defensively and just cannot score offensively. I'm less worried about the Clippers because I think they'll start shooting the ball better like they did last season. They are playing defense, and, you'd rather have Kawhi healthy at the end of the season than at the beginning of the season. It is disappointing to not see him out there, but it feels like right now, with the Clippers, if they lose the 3-point battle, they're going to lose the game. They lost it against the Jazz, so they took the L there. But as long as they start shooting the ball eventually, I think it'll be fine. But there's not much of a system to fall back on. It's drive and kick and hope you make it.
Yeah, and there's so many good Western Conference teams. They're in the play-in tournament currently, and you can see them ending up there with how many good Western Conference teams there are. Plus, the Warriors are going to play better at some point or fix their rotations at some point, who are way behind them right now. Yeah, just a bad sign, but maybe a good sign for us, kicking and bricking. That's a good line. That was a good line.
That was pretty good.
Some bars there.
They're 5-5, but they have played has to be one of the easiest schedules in the league so far. I mean, they play the Jazz, who are 8-3, and they lose to them yesterday. You said, but they're this is who they played: the Lakers, the Kings, the Suns. Okay, the Thunder twice, the Pelicans, 2 to the Rockets, and then the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their wins are against the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Kings in their second game, and then they beat the Lakers on opening night. Those are not good teams in this league. No offense to even my Sacramento Kings. So, yeah, 5-5. You're like, okay, it's not bad. No Kawhi. He comes back. It's a different team, of course. But wait till they start playing some of these, in theory, better teams.
Yeah, especially because the depth was supposed to get them through. And I know I listed some of the injuries there, but they still do have a lot of the guys playing.
Yeah.
And, maybe those three-point shots go down when the stars are out there because there's space. But, yeah, they should be beating these other teams. So let's go to the Lakers there because they lost to the Jazz and the Cavs. Understandable losses because we know the Jazz are great right now.
2 of the best teams in the league.
Yeah. But I think it's the way they lost to the Cavs on Sunday was a little disappointing. They didn't go down with their best players shooting the ball. And Anthony Davis being that guy who only took 2 shots in the second half versus the Cavs, just they can't rely on their depth, unlike the Clippers, unlike the Jazz, unlike the Cavs. They need their best players to shoot, and that ain't going to get it done. The Cavs came back looking like a championship team, the way they can go into every team's barn and just win. But also disappointing, Anthony Davis, beyond the play, didn't talk to media after the game. Just doesn't fit. One more time with this Los Angeles Lakers team. Come on. This is supposed to be. I had some faith in Anthony Davis saying, okay, fell apart after the bubble. Bad season, losing to the Suns in the playoffs. Then we'd miss the playoffs. Some sort of bounce back, and maybe he's playing through injury, sure, but show up with the microphone. At least, at the very least. Also take more shots. So disappointing, and they're going to get the Jazz again tonight. Just another loss, making it 2-8. It sure feels like, and there ain't no trade on the horizon quite yet. So It's got to come within. You'd think that.
And
Anthony
this is
Davis
with Westbrook now playing
score.
well off the bench too. But LeBron can't hit a 3 really to save his life. And then this AD thing where it's like he's there in the first half and he goes missing in the second half, and now there's a big debate about well, whose fault is that? Is it Anthony Davis for not demanding the ball? Is it the coaching staff, and Ham not running enough plays, even though Ham says we do. We give him the menu. That's what he said. The menu includes Anthony Davis, so order yourself an AD if you're hungry. Or is it your players, like your floor generals in LeBron and I guess Westbrook to some extent with the second unit? But I'm sure it's a little bit of column A, B, and C, I think. Though I would put even more on Anthony Davis. You should be, you've proven to be an elite big in this league. You're on the top 75 all-time players list for crying out loud, and you got to speak up.
You got to do something in the second half.
Yeah.
He scored 4 points in 2 second halves combined this weekend. 37 in the first half. He can do it. He's still putting up good counting stats for the season, but right now it just feels like the Lakers can't get everybody to play well at the same time. Like you said, Westbrook, since going to the bench, he's getting MVP chance in back-to-back games. But LeBron is bricking and complaining about the refs, and he just can't make a shot outside of the lane right now. I think 20 of his 22 came inside the lane, and then he was complaining about the refs yesterday. But I don't know. Maybe we can throw the training staff a little bit into the mix here with Anthony Davis. Maybe sitting at halftime for 10 minutes is a problem because the guy's wincing every time he gets touched. He goes down every single game holding his back. We know he had lower back tightness to start the season. Maybe it's tightening up at halftime. Keep him riding on a Peloton bike with the king of cadence himself, Dennis Morton.
Wow.
Get on a DM with AD so we can keep his back un-T-I-T-E. Not as good as bricking and kicking.
Not as good as kicking and bricking.
No, not as good.
Hey, you got to keep shooting, man.
Keep firing.
Hey, second half of the show.
Yeah.
I'm coming up at Davis here, unfortunately. But I will say, here's the thing I would be most concerned about with Anthony Davis is he doesn't look like a player who's going to carry your team when LeBron finally goes into the sunset, whatever that may be.
Right,
LeBron
right.
seems to be out of the top 5 players in the league right now. Probably still a top 10 guy, but Davis I don't think is in the top 10 right now. And if you were going to say, starting next season, Anthony Davis is our number 1, which is actually what they do say at the start of every season.
Yeah.
If that was actually the case, it's not the AD that we saw in New Orleans. He's not able to put the team on his back and win them games because he can score inside.
Yeah.
And that's it for right now. So, I don't know. Lakers are going to maybe show up in a lot of losers of the weekend here until they do something else.
Yeah, Anthony, it's funny when people say, oh, this ain't the Anthony Davis that you had in New Orleans, because he was good, but he also didn't have any playoff success. He had that one round where they swept the Blazers. So, yeah, you can't rely on him to be the number one guy, top 75 guy to do it in the postseason. I liked what Russ said after the game. He was asked, whose job is it to get Anthony Davis involved? He goes, I don't know. I don't know whose job it is. I think it's just a little dig. Like, he still wants to be in the starting lineup. Like, I think he's still casting a little bit of blame, but he's also playing great soldier and kicking ass as a backup. So, Russ still pissed, but he's doing his job even though he's pissed. So I'm proud of Russ. Russ has adapted. But AD is not adapted.
Yeah, Trey's right. They just all can't play well at the same time right now. It's bad. But the City of Angels, both LA teams getting loser of the weekend here from Tess.
Yep.
Tough loss for the Rams yesterday, I think, as well. They're looking washed as well, yeah. Huh. People are saying it's all over for LA.
Jeez.
That was the Brady comebape, right?
Yeah. That's right, yep.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough one.
I wonder how Matty O's doing.
Tough one. I saw
right
the Dodgers lost in the playoffs as well. Losers. That's what the L stands for.
What do you got, Trey, for a loser?
Oh, the refs. Big time losers.
Oh, you sound like LeBron James over here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the refs are losers every weekend, but especially so this time around. We'll start with the Mavs-Raptors game on Friday night. Spencer Dinwiddie picked up a technical foul late in the first half in this one. After the game, he explained just what happened.
Since I'm now known for my monologues, I would like to take the very first piece of this, I'm going to take this out, press conference and say I apologize to Tony Brothers for what seemed to keep him irate, which was a clap. I think he thought it was disrespectful. If you watch the games, and I know that's what refs are supposed to do, you see that I clap to get the attention of my teammates, things of that nature. So it was nothing personal. So as a man, I would like to say I'm sorry first and foremost, and secondarily, I would like to say not only would I like my money back, but I would like to not be called a bitch-ass motherfucker to my teammates. So if there is anybody that feels that way about me, not naming any names, they can address me personally, face to face, because no swear words were used in the direction of anybody. Personally, it was like, hey, that wasn't a take foul, or that wasn't a fucking take foul, or something like that. But it wasn't anything that was personal. So NBA, I would definitely like my money back, and I would appreciate no fine at all in this monologue. Thank you. Questions?
Unlike Anthony Davis, this clip really picks up in the second half once he gets to Tony Brothers calling him out. And then I love two little moments in this that I really love are taking out his retainer to start, which is pretty funny, especially because he knew he was going in on the refs at this point, and specifically Tony Brothers, but still went up because, you got to keep those teeth Invisaligned. Every minute counts out there. And then at the end where he apologizes for swearing 100 times in the press conference, he's like, hey, I apologize. He's like, don't fine me for the fine that I'm gonna get, but also don't give me one for this. 'Cause I'm just explaining what happened out there. We haven't heard any news yet from the league about this, and to me, we probably won't. But you'll know what happened if Spencer Dinwiddie gets his tech rescinded. That will be the news, and you'll be like, oh, so Tony Brothers did say what Tony Brothers allegedly said. I like what Dinwiddie said. I'm not even mad at the language. Everybody said things before when they're upset or feeling sensitive or hurt. That's fine. Just say it to my face. Adam Silver should make Tony Brothers say it to his face.
So Dinwiddie was saying that Tony Brothers said this to his teammates.
Yeah.
Right. So
tee him up.
Yeah, and then he's like to his teammates, this guy, and he's
told
dropping all
Maxi
the expletives.
Kleba.
Yeah, okay.
Kleba hated it.
Weird.
Yeah, so weird stuff.
Yeah, it is weird.
Tony.
But he killed it up there. I can see why Spencer Dinwiddie is known for his monologue. Money in the Bank. Secondarily, a 5-syllable word. Could have just said secondly. But secondarily, yeah. Great stuff.
Okay, so that's part one of your
Part one.
ref hate here, yeah.
The other incident also from Friday night. This is in the Suns-Blazers game. Tie game, 1 second remaining. Blazers run a beautiful little cross-court lob play to get Jeremy Grant a game-winning jumper. Nice play, nice shot. It's money. Portland Trail Blazers win. The only problem is that, as you see, when Jeremy Grant catches the ball, takes quite a few steps, and the league agreed. The last 2-minute report stated that Jeremy Grant gathers the ball with one hand and then takes 3 steps before releasing the shot attempt that should have been a travel, which means the Suns should have won. They followed it up by beating Portland pretty badly the next night, won by 20. But this is the second time in a week that the NBA has missed a travel, that refs have missed a travel on a game winner. Tyler Hero's game winner that we showed against the Kings also came back, the last 2-minute report, saying that should have been a travel.
Yeah.
Maybe too much of a point of emphasis on carries. I think we should be watching what happens on the game-winning shots rather than a carry in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Point of emphasis. Call a travel when a guy travels, and it actually affects the game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I will admit, even Nora saw this clip because I was looking at the highlights the next day, and she's like, did he travel there? And it's like, well, yeah. Like, the tough part is, like, it's like,
What's
the
gather?
corralling of the ball, right?
Yeah.
It's like, when is the pitter patter of the feet sort of happening? Is it like, was he sort of doing it before the ball gets there, or like they said after watching it in the replay and stuff like that, the ball was there and then he goes, I mean, does a little moonwalk and hits it.
It's hard. It's tough. The gather. What is the gather? Yeah, it's the perfect Harden move. It's the gather is, it can be like 3 steps. If it takes you a while to gather, that's what they've perfected. But yeah, the travel should be more of a point of emphasis. Agreed. And
Do you think
defensive 3 seconds? Let's get rid of that. Like there's so much worry about what's going on in the last 2 minutes, about getting it all right. But the travel is definitely it's been exaggerated and taken advantage of by players for years now.
Do you think when they go and look at these, because they generally go check them to see, did he get it off in time? Is the game over? Is like that a buzzer beater? Did it get off his fingertips? Do you think they should be allowed in the Hero case and this Grant case to like look at the play and go, well, he traveled, and like call it off? Is that a slippery slope?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would rather just not know about the last 2-minute report.
Okay.
I would
fair.
just like to know in my mind. I'm like, yeah, Jeremy Grant traveled.
Right.
But the last 2-minute report changes nothing, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
why
of
even
course.
tell people about it?
I guess they're looking for some sort of transparency that they're like, hey, we know our referees got this one wrong, and here's why, and that's it. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
just letting you know.
Can't think
we
of
blew
really
it.
any other reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Could be for gambling.
You agree with Trey? Yeah. You agree with Trey though?
Yeah,
You
be
should-
oblivious. Yeah, I think ignorance is bliss sometimes, for sure. Because there's so many that are called incorrectly. They're humans.
But you also think on a buzzer beater, game over shot, they look at it to make sure they got it off in time. And if they were to travel and they didn't call that on the floor, you don't love the idea of like saying, actually, that's a travel. Sorry.
I think I don't think so. It's a tough one. Yeah, because then it's endless, right?
Yeah.
There a lot of stuff happens real quick.
Look, some of these last 2-minute reports are like, there'll be like 5 or 6 calls incorrect. And like,
There was another botched travel call in this game, right?
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges, they called him for a travel, and it wasn't a travel. And then they didn't call Jeremy Grant for a travel when it was a travel. Just let people walk around with the ball. Who cares? Just run out there.
no dribbling? You don't care anymore?
No dribbles. Yeah, all passes, running, and dribbling. I'll say this. Best game-winning out-of-bounds play is the lob to the opposite corner. It works every time.
It does.
Matt Ryan said, I've never seen it work. That's what he said before it worked for him. You're a liar, buddy. It worked for OG Anunoby.
It did.
That works
Kyle
every
Lowry.
time.
Jeff
Nobody
Green.
expects the over-the-top lob.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's a hell of a play. Also, I think it was Eddie Johnson, Suns broadcaster, on Twitter throwing out this idea to go back to Dinwiddie. I believe it came up from him. I may have this incorrect. But the idea that only the captain on the floor should be able to talk to the referees, and that not everybody should be able to, like, have a conversation, chirp, clap, bark at the referees. Like, it should be like, I guess maybe they do this in rugby. It's like the captains can speak to the officials, and that is it. And like, there's no leeway for other people to do that, and there's maybe like a little more mutual respect when that happens. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
not
something
against
to
it. I'm not against the idea.
That feels like sort of an old-timey sports rule, just in all sports, right? I feel like that happens in hockey as well. When there's a big whistle, big infraction, the captain, or maybe the A man, the assistant captain. I think it is the captain comes over.
Yeah, but also in hockey, like, they say whatever they want to the officials. Like, those officials are
this is just normal.
berated. Yeah, it's just normal. They just like,
Yeah,
they don't
take
mind.
it.
They don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, couple other losers of the weekend. Tough word for it, but injuries. They suck. Had a couple big ones, though. Pascal Siakam, diagnosed with a right adductor muscle strain. That's like a hip injury there. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. He sustained the injury. He slipped on the floor against the Mavericks there on Friday night in the third quarter of that loss. Just this is a bummer because this guy had been playing the best basketball of his career, hands down.
Yep.
Was averaging 25, 9, and 8 in 9 games this season. Was going to be, I know it's a while away still, but an easy lock for the All-Star team. You miss 2 or 3 weeks here because they're going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. You don't want to miss too much time. It's going to hurt your chances to obviously make a squad. But Raptors bounced back without him to beat Trey's Bulls there last night, and the defense was pretty elite, like focusing on taking DeRozan out of that game as much as possible to get the ball out of his hands. But this guy's just been amazing this year for the Raps. We've talked about him a couple times, so it just sucks that he's going to miss at least 2 weeks here. Could be more.
Yes, and we saw last year how it took him a little bit to get going at the beginning of the season, coming off an injury.
It's true.
It's so much about feel and flow, and it just, we were talking about MV Pascal.
That's right.
At least in the conversation, at least at the table, at least looking at the table, bringing a bottle of wine over, maybe having a seat. So where does it go from here? Hopefully he's back and still doing those things. But Fred can fill in for a couple weeks.
He's back, and he was amazing against the Bulls last night.
Yeah, but he played 40 minutes.
He did.
And, I mean, it's early in the season. Scotty Barnes also played 40 minutes. The Raptors don't look any deeper this year than they did last year, and they basically played 7 guys for the entire season and then ran out of steam in the playoffs. This might actually be a little bit of a blessing in disguise to get Siakam a little chance to rest for a couple of weeks. Of course, then you're putting a huge minute load on the other guys as well. That would be what I'm more worried about, is wearing your guys down once again, because the Raptors got to find some helpers deep in the roster who can actually sop up a few minutes here. Otherwise, they're going to be playing playoff rotations the whole season again.
Yeah, some gods. They've got all the 6'9" wings.
Yeah, exactly. They need a guard.
Goran Dragic, what a jerk. You could have been a Raptor for 2 seasons here, helping out. He looks great for the Bulls, obviously, helping out and looking young again.
He was shushing the crowd because they were on him. It's a petty Raptors crowd, which
he
is
should
great.
have played the fourth quarter. I'll tell you that. Caruso was a brickfest.
In other injury news, the Suns announced this weekend Cam Johnson suffered a torn meniscus. He's set to undergo surgery in the coming days here. There's no timetable that they've provided for his return. Part of that is the doctor's probably got to get inside, look at that knee, and then give him the options of partial or total removal of the meniscus. That's can be 1 to 2 month recovery, or a completely full meniscus repair. That can be a lot longer. That can be a season. If they go that route, we don't know which one he's going to go with. But he suffered the knee injury in Friday's game against the Blazers. And he tweaked it coming around a pick. It was a really strange play, and then couldn't put any weight on it. So this is tough for the Suns. I mean, they're off to a great start. He's been a key contributor to this team over the last couple of seasons. Now he's in the starting role, averaging a career high 13 points per game. He had 29, season best 29 against the Wolves in Minnesota there, or versus Minnesota. So he's been playing really well, getting the opportunity with Crowder not wanting to be on this team. And so now they lose him. It sounds like James Jones, I think he has a weekly radio thing, asked about any possibility Jay Crowder would come back now and get his starting role back, and it's that doesn't seem like it's happening. So I wonder if this forces them to get really aggressive in trying to get a replacement here for Cam Johnson. Torrey Craig started on Saturday, and he can do some Cam Johnson things, but not nearly as capable of 3-point shooter, that's for sure. Cam Johnson is one of the most not under the radar in sense of 3-point shooters in the game. He's just shoots it at a 43% clip. He takes 5 or 6 a game. He just never really talked about it as a 3-point shooter in my opinion, but he's been great for them. So this sucks for the Suns. Tough loss.
Yeah, he is probably the the 5th starter that you talk about on that team beyond Paul Booker, Bridges, and Ayton. He definitely flies under the radar, but he's perfect. It's nice too, I think, after a season like they had with the Suns, to be able to insert a new guy into the starting lineup who is really, really good at his job. He's shooting 44% from 3.
There it is.
And not great news for the Suns, but the vibes are so good, I don't think you could even ask Jay Crowder to come back. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No.
But hopefully he's back, because they can fill in for him, but he's young, energetic. He's so good. He's just a really good player on that team. He fits in so well.
Zona Hoops was suggesting a replacement name. Carmelo Anthony!
You want the 3-pointers.
Potential Band-Aid right there, yeah. I mean, defensively, not even close, obviously, what Cam can do. But, yeah, shooting the ball.
Friends with Chris Paul.
Yeah, good point. Good point. We'll see. Will they pursue Melo? Does Melo even want to play still in the NBA? I guess so. He hasn't said anything
I
about
feel
it,
like
right?
he's probably waiting until the second half of the season.
Yeah.
He's the new Roger Clemens. Sign me for the second half in the playoffs. That's all you need.
It's true. It's true. So we'll see what the Suns do here. Again, Craig's in there right now. Will they make a move in trying to trade Crowder? Because it doesn't sound like he's going to be returning. And we don't even know how long Cam Johnson's going to be out here. You're hoping that it's not his season. Like, is it that 1 to 2 month recovery? We'll see. Final loser of the weekend. We'll give it to Daniel Gafford's ankles or pride. Or maybe the Wizards mop boy, I don't know. But Kevin Durant got him on the double crossover on the weekend. You've seen the clip by now, I'm sure. He slipped, no doubt. KD got him, though, and he just did the splits. And then Gafford just stays down and takes a nap as he touches wood here.
At the rim, man.
Touches earth. Eagle on the call. You got the double gasp from the crowd. This is in Washington, remember. That's Gafford. He plays for the Wizards. But you get the gasp when he falls and then the gasp when he sort of hits the bucket. Hell of a play from KD. But, yeah, there's one of the photos going viral where he's just straight sleeping.
It looks so funny.
Oh, yeah.
This is up there to me with Antonio Daniels, Allen Iverson, and James Harden, Wesley Johnson for best aftermath of a crossover.
Yeah.
I guess Wesley Johnson, it was Harden licking his lips. Antonio Daniels fell down twice, but Daniel Gafford did the splits and went ear to the ground to watch Kevin Durant make a shot. That was wild.
No, he was under him as he rose to hit the shot. That's pretty rare. That photo, not good. And your name is Gaff. No. Hey, produce some great social media stuff, though.
Oh,
including from our man Jerome throwing the old short up there.
little Ed Sheeran.
Little Ed Sheeran.
short.
Just cutting that together, shearing it together on a Friday night.
Poor Gafford. Hey, look, he slipped, but it doesn't matter. That's the problem with these clips. It doesn't really matter. People are going, who cares? That's awesome looking. Oh my God, he's sleeping.
His his college, I think he went to Arkansas, reposted this, was like, come on, Daniel. He's like, hey, sorry.
Oh,
No,
that is alma mater.
It's crazy.
Wow.
that's rude.
That's too much.
It's too much. That's almost impressive that he did the splits. He's a 7-footer.
That's pretty good.
Did a lot of
man.
yoga. Yeah. Very flexible. You're right.
You should be proud, Razorbacks. Could have been a gymnast / basketball player.
All right, those are our winners and losers from the NBA weekend. Who did we miss? Let us know as you are in the stream team, or if you're listening and watching later, let us know in the comments or tweet them in at NoDunksInc. Let's take our final break, and when we come back, we got pick 'em results and tweet of the night.
If you own crypto and leave it on the exchange where you bought it, that's a mistake. We've heard the news lately. Exchange is closed, accounts frozen. We're learning the hard way. Crypto on an exchange is not really in your control, so what can you do? Get a secure crypto wallet and control your crypto yourself. So check out our new sponsor, ZenGo, the simple and secure crypto wallet with everything you need. Most crypto wallets come with a private key that you need to secure. But if the private key gets lost, hacked, or stolen, say goodbye to all of your crypto forever. Give me a tight shot here, JD, on the lips, please. Just a quick lips shot. Forever.
Nice.
ZenGo created the crypto wallet we've all been waiting for. It's controlled by you, so unlike an exchange, no one can access your crypto but yourself. At the same time, ZenGo removed the private key vulnerability, instead using a type of cryptography called MPC that until now has only been available to billion-dollar institutions, and here's what that means, Skeets. 1, your ZenGo wallet is fully recoverable. Say goodbye to lost Bitcoin.
Okay.
Or hello, since you won't be losing it.
I just look at it every day.
Just look at it. Just look at it. It's there. 2, your ZenGo wallet is a hacker's nightmare. ZenGo uses 3-factor authentication, including 3D biometrics, so no one can access your wallet but you. And 3, ZenGo recognizes we're all at different levels of our crypto journey, and they built live 24/7 support with real people directly into the app. From Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tezos, and more, ZenGo supports all your favorite cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and now for the first time, you can keep them safe with tech the big guys have used for years, thanks to ZenGo. So download the Zengo app from the App Store or Google Play. That's Zengo. Use code NODUNKS to get $20 back on your first purchase of $200 or more. That's code NODUNKS for $20 back on your first purchase of $200 or more when you download Zengo from the App Store or Google Play. Terms and conditions, they apply.
With the bustling holiday season just around the corner, I'm talking Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, if you want to throw it in there, it's the perfect time to plan ahead with Factor, a ready-to-eat meal delivery. They shop, prep, cook, and deliver to your door so you can enjoy chef-crafted, which is also chef-created in a way.
Yeah.
Dietitian-approved meals during the holidays, minus the hassle. My holiday schedule, it's already jam-packed.
Is it?
Yeah, and we're not even there yet. You're flying here, someone's flying in from there. I've got the Hamaka Schlemma catalog to look through. Busy time in the Skeets household. Luckily, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals make it easy to fuel up fast when I'm on the go. I'm always on the move, always on the go. So I save mad time with meals delivered ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. And here's the thing. You're not eating the 5 or 6 same meals with this. Factor offers 34 meals per week and 36 add-on options like smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep you going. Factor, it's just cheaper than dining out. Crunch the numbers.
Okay.
Okay? Put the money you save towards holiday fun. Or waste it, like me, on a dumb monkey lamp or a marshmallow gun or something else from the Hamaka Schlemma catalog. And thanks to Factor's commitment to ingredients with integrity, you can enjoy flavorful, chef-crafted meals guilt-free. And when things get hectic during the holidays, and you know they will, Factor is flexible, so you can change up your order every week with your plans, which is really nice. You can pause, or you can reschedule your deliveries anytime you want. They work with you. So Factor into your life. I came up with that line. I'm really proud of it.
Actually.
Talk to me, Factor,
That's
about
good.
that. Head to go.factor75.com/nodunk60 and use the code NODUNK60 to get 60% off your first box. That might be a record in terms of straight up discount we're handing out here on the show. 60% off. That's code NODUNKS60 at go.factor75.com/nodunk60 to get 60% off your first box. Whole lot of numbers. A lot of numbers in that URL, Factor. Factor in the numbers next time. Otherwise, great meal deliveries. Perfect during the holiday season. Yeah.
Marshmallow gun.
Yeah.
Back to that. So that's like a s'mores gun? Is that like a lighting a
Well,
marshmallow?
it's a s'mores gun if I fire the marshmallow gun at your face and you already have a what's the graham cracker in your mouth. Chocolate
Lodges perfectly in there.
Yeah, if you have a graham cracker in your mouth with chocolate on the other side and I fire the marshmallow gun at you, yeah.
Oh, that's what
it's
I
a
figured
s'mores
it
gun.
was.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. No, it's just like
It shoots marshmallows?
Yeah. I brought this up
Is
a
this
long
breath
time.
powered? Like,
No. This is I don't know what this is. Machine operated. Like.
oh, okay, yeah.
I think.
The only marshmallow gun I'm familiar with shoots like the bite-sized
Oh
marshmallows.
no, these were fatties.
Fullies?
Yeah.
Nice. They're making marshmallows too big these days. I don't know if you guys have seen this. They're making them graham cracker sized. That's too much
That's
marshmallow.
way too big.
Yeah, especially if you're roasting them. It gets very crispy on the outside, but there's such a dense mallow on the inside. It's hard to get it chewy, man.
And also,
tough out
even
here.
if you're making your s'more, it's like using glue on something. You think you got to put glue everywhere, but then when you put the two things together, especially like crazy glue or something, it's going to spill out the sides.
Exactly right.
Same thing with my marshmallow to my s'more or to my graham cracker, right? Like, I don't want it the size of it because then it's going to go everywhere. A little smaller in the middle, squish it, and it's going to spread out.
Squeeze it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's just some marshmallow thoughts for you.
Yeah. Pick'em results from Friday night. It was that Nets-Washington Wizards game where the Wizards were favored by 2.5 at home, but they got gaffed by KD. And I took the Nets. I swerved a little bit on this one. I said KD was going to go for 50. Instead he went for, 29 and gave us one of the highlights of the season. All right. Close enough. So I got the win. I'm 2-2. You guys had the Wizards. Tass, you're 2-2, and Trey's 1-3. Tonight's game, there are a few to pick from.
Yes, 15. All 30 teams are playing tonight in the association because they're not playing tomorrow for Election Day. And it's the old 15-minute interval start time. The old new 15-minute interval start time because we've never seen it before in the NBA. We're starting at 7 Eastern, 7:15, 7:30, all the way up to 10:30 Eastern.
Wow,
So get
wow.
ready for 15 endings to these basketball games. It's an interesting little experiment. I went with a classic for us. The Raps are playing the Bulls again, back to back, but they're going to Chicago for this one. And Chicago is the 4.5-point dog in this one.
Oh boy.
So they can lose by 4. That's a big line for the Raps on the road, don't you think?
Yeah, that's why I'm taking the Bulls to cover.
Yeah, that's why I'm taking the Raps. What? Just because I'm taking the Raps blindly. That's what I'm doing.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, is Zach LaVine playing in this one?
My guess is yes.
Yeah, I thought so too. That was
Second night
part
of a
it.
back-to-back, yeah.
Because I watched that game, obviously being the Raps, and it was Nurse just like, we are just throwing 2 giants at DeMar DeRozan, and he's gonna have to pass it, and they're gonna play 4-on-3 behind us, and we'll see if we can, scramble and get back. Coloca was a monster last night, 6 blocks.
So good.
He was really good. But if Zach LaVine is playing, that is a different, offense, obviously, when DeRozan, if he's even forced at that point to get rid of the ball. I wonder what Nurse would do in that situation. So I think this could be a close game here. So I'm hoping for Raptors win.
On a Monday?
Oh yeah, that's the other part.
This is how Bulls win here.
Yeah.
This is a Bulls
Hit the
win
money
for
line?
sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I would guarantee this one. 23 offensive rebounds for the Raptors yesterday. That was embarrassing. It's not like the Bulls had the biggest guy on the court or anything.
Yeah.
That was
There was a lot of,
that
like-
was ridiculous.
I mean, it was
man.
a close game too. There was a lot of offensive rebounds late in that game.
Yes,
They took over.
yes. The Bulls. I think the Raptors got 100% of the 50-50 balls. Crunch the numbers.
I think it changes tonight with those weekday Bulls.
That's right, man.
That
That's
are
right.
undefeated still. All right. Well, I'm with you, at least in terms of covering. And Tass has the Raptors to win by 5 points or more.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow. Twitter.
Well, this tweet of the night comes from Bleacher Report because they captured an Al Horford moment. And whenever Al Horford's having fun on the basketball floor, I love it. He trolled DeMar DeRozan on Friday, DeMar complaining, and Horford hit him with the tiny violin. Horford usually gets somebody when they turn their back. He loves playing there's the tiniest violin in the world for you, DeMar. DeMar, yeah, thinking I wasn't stripped. That should have been a call. But when Al Horford makes a funny, he loves the I'm getting hit by a brick free throw or an air ball. Duck gonna get hit right in the headford. But Allie, just a quick violina.
You think that was a tiny violin, eh?
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Yeah, like at least
size?
Well, medium size, I think.
Yeah,
Like a teenager's violin?
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It wasn't the tiniest. Actually, maybe that's
Okay,
straight up
that's
violin. Now that I take it back.
Yeah. I was just trying to paint the picture
Yeah,
for
no.
everyone out there what he was trying to pull off. It wasn't a viola.
Sad strings.
Yeah, it's a big stroke that he's using there. So
Do you think Al
There you go.
Horford can play the violin?
I'm guessing not.
Absolutely not.
Well, I'm guessing not, but I will say
Just
if you
based
were to
on his-
quiz me on like, hey,
Based on
which
his
NBA
form?
player in the NBA can play the violin, he would be on my short list of a
Very short
of a
list.
guy that can maybe just play
Yeah.
it, just learned it.
But JD didn't buy the form.
No, the neck of the violin. He's holding it like this,
Yeah, he's like
Fludolin.
and then doing this. Like,
he was
no.
like doing it on his wrists essentially, which
Yeah, that's not
that's,
how
How would
not a
you,
violin.
JD? Go back to your camera. Show us how to play the fake violin,
No, it goes
air
under your
violin.
neck, and then you gotta do this because this is the fingerboard here, the fretboard, if you will, and then nice big long strokes like this. Unless you're a country guy, and then you hold it sort of under your arm, and
Right.
then
Yeah.
ding 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 ding. But yeah, he was going classical, but this is not.
Right.
This is not an instrument. This is like you're whacking off two dudes.
There we go. That's what I was hoping to get. Clip it, Jerome. JD whacks off on his birthday. I would hashtag shorts, hashtag NBA shorts, hashtag jerking off that one, and put that on YouTube.
So one day I don't whack off. Actually.
Tweet of the night, Al Horford.
Yeah.
Congrats to you.
You know why I said he wouldn't be a guy who played the violin?
why?
Why? I'll tell you why. Because Jared.
Give me a piece of my mind on this one.
Because there was a great write-up on Al Horford towards the end of last season. I've mentioned it a couple times. it was about Al Horford and his family, and excited to be back in Boston,
Right.
and the playoff run. And there was a lot of talk about him drinking chocolate milk and how he doesn't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
There were so many words on chocolate milk by Jared Weiss of The Athletic. You would think if a guy did something like play the violin, like he doesn't drink, he goes.
You're saying? Okay,
I'm saying it would have been included in the profile.
Sure.
I agree.
This
Jared
guy,
Weiss
this
was
guy
so
is so
detailed
locked in.
there.
He doesn't drink. He just goes home and drinks his chocolate milk and plays his violin.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That would have been the story, but there was no mention of a violin.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there was mention of his.
Okay, well
his
then let me
on-court
ask the
hijinks.
question: who in the NBA do you think most likely can play the violin?
All right.
I actually think it's no one. I'm with Tess. I
You
think
don't think anybody in the NBA
Nope.
can play the violin?
I think if somebody could play the violin, we would know.
Yeah.
We knew Vince Carter could play the saxophone.
Yeah.
And that was like grade
That was
8 and
100
grade
years ago.
9.
Yeah.
He didn't even play it that much.
Okay, we gotta find out.
I'm not buying that.
Yes, he did. He was in the band. What are you talking about? He
middle
played
school. Like middle school.
But he played
I thought he was like a drum major or
it.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Grant Hill could play the piano, right?
Yeah, but that's real. That's real for sure.
Okay. He does like music.
A violin is like it's the smallest stringed instrument, really. I mean,
These guys, giant
These guys
hands.
are so big.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's a great point.
if you're in a band class, they're like, "Hey, you tall guy, you're on bass. You're gonna stand next to that bass." And then even that's
Tuba.
gonna be small.
Yeah, that's gonna look like a violin to these guys.
Totally.
These guys are carrying around a bass. What do you call it? Just a bass.
It's just a bass, double bass.
Double
Sometimes
bass,
it's
that's it,
called. But yeah, Embiid would be playing that thing like a violin.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Oh, me too.
A guy playing a bass like a violin.
Wait, isn't there the iconic photo of Pau Gasol and Tim Duncan? One of them's playing the saxophone, and somebody's playing the double bass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, find out who in the NBA can play the violin, if anybody. Great point about giant fingers. Yeah, that's a tough instrument for these guys. Maybe like I don't know who's the smallest guy in the league right now. Like Ish Smith. Can he play?
Can Ish Smith play the violin?
Somebody please let
Google
us know.
search that. All right, let's call it there.
Please.
Getting zany here in the Classic Factory. Reminder, if you're joining us live here for this show, join us live over at NBA Reddit at 1 p.m. Eastern today. Yeah, on Monday. And I guess you can go back if you don't catch it live and read all our responses if you want.
Absolutely.
People do that. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. A little AMA, NBA Reddit, with the three of us at 1 p.m. Eastern. I think the link's going up at 12, so very soon, so you can start getting your questions in. You can bank your cues for us, and we can fire away.
Honestly, which NBA player most likely can play the violin going to be a great off-season Reddit topic.
Jesus.
237 comments, I would imagine.
That is a good point. We gotta get to the bottom of this. We're gonna be asking the questions in this game. I got a lot of thoughts on this. Okay, we'll call it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Hit the like button if you're a podcast listener. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. Till the AMA or tomorrow, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, the first post on that thread about which NBA player plays the violin is going to be a photo of LeBron James, because apparently LeBron James held a violin once. I don't know if he's actually playing it. It looked like he just picked it up, and it was his Google Plus profile picture for 5 years at least.
What?
Him playing a violin.
There's a commercial
Literally
where he
what?
plays a tiny violin too. That's definitely a thing I tweeted out a long time ago.
I'm looking at a post on violinist.com from 2016. LeBron is holding a violin.
Wow.
Doesn't look photoshopped.
All right, he's held it.
He's held one.
he play
Held
it?
the violin.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's actually playing it. It looks like he's just having fun. Like he just picked it up. But hey, what do I know?
Embrace the day, people.